This is the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, and you are listening to the Wrestling POV podcast.
What is up, everybody? Excited? Fastlane coming up this week.
Fastlane and WrestleDream.
And NXT No Mercy. Okay, let me explain something to you folks.
So much.
Alright, I'm glad you said that, like, honestly, because, you know, Elio and I were doing the NXT No Mercy and the WrestleDream predictions for our podcast just the other day, and I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me? Because then, because if you hadn't been going to Fastlane, there's no way I would have even remembered. To be honest with you, folks, for about a week there, I forgot about Fastlane because I've had a bunch of personal stuff going on, so my brain's been all over the place. But regardless of that, it's just like, can we cut the bullshit with the sheer number of wrestling pay-per-views?
I mean, it is. It's like you have 2 pay-per-views in a weekend, which is going to be...
See what's going on here?
What's that?
The beginning of September and the end of September are identical. September the 2nd and 3rd, we had Payback and All Out. September 30th, October 1st, we have No Mercy and WrestleDream.
That is. How ironic is that?
I know. It's just, you know, and like as podcasters, in one way, it's a good thing because it gives us content. But on the other hand, it's like I've always been a quality over quantity guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't want to do something just for the sake of doing it. So it's just like, God, can we get some quality control?
Yeah, like I said, I love pro wrestling. Don't get me wrong. It's one of my passions in life, but good gosh, it's just like, it's gotten to the point where it's like every weekend there's some type of pay-per-view. And, you know, but hey, it is what it is. We can't control what they, what they put out there. So it's all good. It's fine.
And I'm thinking it's a little bit different now that we're professional podcasters and we're literally in front of millions of people a week. So we have to take it a little bit more seriously.
That's right. And we love all you. Thank you for listening. All right, let's go ahead and start with this week. And for our Facebook polls, we had our fantasy matchup this week. It was me versus Ben. Ben had Seth freaking Rollins with mine, Kenny Omega. Guys, this sounds like a dream match made in heaven. I'm one of those guys that...
Sign me up, please.
Yes. I would love to see this match. And I would just love, in general, just these two would go at it big time. This match has to happen in WWE. Sorry, because if it was in AEW, I'm sorry they would fuck this shit up. I really believe that. But
and why do you think AEW would do it a disservice?
I don't think it would give much hype. You know, it'd be like Kenny Omega and the Bucks, or Rollins would have to, somehow get with Moxley. If it was an AEW, they would stream it and push it. And I don't think it would be that as great as hype as WWE would have been. Not saying I'm a WWE fanboy. I never will claim that. But I feel like WWE, for this certain match, it would be a whole lot better. But if this match were to happen, I'm still going with Seth Rollins. I will go against my own pick. So there you have it. Guys, what do you think about this?
So I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins on this one. I mean, like he's like on another level right now. Like with being the world champion, all the work he's doing now. So I'd have to go with Seth Rollins.
All right, Ben, what you think?
Well, I know that the IWC is going to hate us for this, but I actually have to go with Seth Rollins as well. But I have 2 major reasons for that thinking. One is I don't think Kenny wrestles nearly as much as he used to. So I would have to say that Seth Rollins has the advantage in terms of that, like constantly being in ring shape, like, and like Elio said, he's just existing in a different area right now. I certainly hope that this back problem that he had is a storyline thing. Otherwise, if he really had a significant issue, I'd like to think WWE wouldn't have him in the ring.
True.
But yeah, I honestly, I as a fan, I prefer Seth Rollins, and as a wrestler, I prefer Seth Rollins as well. So I would have to give this to Seth, and the other reason I would give it to Seth is I don't know about you guys, but Kenny just talks too much, and like it's just the hype for this on his end would just annoy me. Like he went online and said, all of this online talk about wrestlers trashing each other when they go to other companies, we cheer for each other. We're genuinely happy. But, meanwhile, he was right in the midst of one of the biggest shit shows in recent wrestling history. So partially, and I know that may be unprofessional of me, but partially I just want Kenny Omega to shut the fuck up. If you claim you don't have an ego, that was the last thing you probably wanted to say.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
He got absolutely shredded on social media for that, and I laughed. Like, folks, typically I hate social media, but I laughed my ass off when Kenny Omega got shredded. I just it brought a special kind of joy to my heart.
There you go. All right, let's go to the comments. Josh Sanders says, I want Omega to come to WWE and make this fancy matchup happen. And they have a 5-star match with a broken announcement table and a blood. Kenny Omega wins, and it's for the heavyweight championship. Josh is playing Booker here, fellas.
See, Josh already has a badge booked with stipulations and everything.
Yes, he does.
Well, he could probably do a better job than WWE Creative. I'll give him that.
There you go. His brother Brad Sanders comments said Kenny Omega to WWE. Well, yeah,
that's not what we asked.
No,
but we love you, boys.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's going with Kenny. Just saying that. So, Carly Bolton said Kenny, and Caleb Kamana said Kenny Omega. So, Elio, you did this on your TikTok. What was your results?
So, 46% went with Seth Rollins and 56% went with Kenny Omega.
Okay. All right. Those numbers aren't too bad. Sure. And we did this on our poll on our Facebook page. And the winner of the fantasy matchup is Seth Rollins with 67% of the vote, with Kenny Omega with 32%. So, Ben, you have the win this week. Congratulations.
So,
I knew you people were smart. and I'm not just saying that because I won, which I do appreciate, but it's just usually these things come back to bite me in the ass. So this is a pleasant change of pace.
There you go. Well, we will have another fantasy matchup after the break. It will be between Elio and Ben again this week, and we'll go from there. So
I'm just gonna update the stats here. So that puts Ben at 7-10, and that puts you at 16-9.
Oof! All right.
Okay, you were due for a loss, I mean, because you're running away with this shit.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. It's all good.
I'm proud of you, Clay. I mean, goddamn.
It's what I do. No, I'm just kidding.
And you know what, folks? I'm having a doubly good day because tonight, even though I love the game, we don't have to play the 5-second shuffle because, and obviously I don't take it personal, but I've been getting smoked on the 5-second shuffle with these forbidden songs. It's one thing if I don't know what it is, but every time I hear a Forbidden song and it's Taz or Hook or whatever it might be, but by the way, fuck you, Taz.
There you go.
You know, and it annoys the shit out of me. And it's had me a little too much.
There you go. There you go. All right. Our next Facebook page or questions. Are you guys looking forward to Wrestle Dream? Guys, what you think?
Okay, I kind of not necessarily because first of all we've had way too much pay-per-views going on lately, but the build to it, especially after Wednesday's show, which confused me.
Yeah,
if anything, I'm looking forward to the Bryan Danielson Zack Sabre Jr. match.
That's gonna be a good match.
Because for the rest of it, I wouldn't have even known if I didn't look at the card. I wouldn't have even known what the rest of the card was. That's how much I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had like two AEW pay-per-views in a row, and this is going to be the third
in a month,
right? So yeah. No, I'm not. For me, it's a no.
All right, Ben, what do you think?
No, and I hate saying that, but the bottom line here, folks, is I'm burned out.
Yeah.
This is a case of oversaturation of a product. As much as I love professional wrestling, and I do, otherwise I wouldn't be on two podcasts. But it's just AEW was doing 4 pay-per-views a year, and now they've had 3 in a month.
And now they want to stretch it out even more and add more. No.
Yeah.
That's a little much. And to Elio's point, I'm glad you said that, brother, because if you really think about it, we still have one or two. Well, we still have one more show till Wrestle Dream, so I'm sure we're gonna get more shakeups. Plus, they still have the 0 hour to book.
So we have another hour because it's already 10 matches announced for this show.
So really, because the last time I looked, there was 9 matches. So what was the 10th one?
The one I'm looking at on number 10 on my page here is Ricky Starks Wheeler Yuta.
Okay. Yeah, they announced that on Dynamite. Yep.
Oh joy.
Yeah. But here's my thing with Wrestle Dream. Like, yes, it's 3 pay-per-views in a month, and we set a good example there. It was like AEW used to have just 4 pay-per-views a year, and it was one of those things where they kept saying like, "Oh, well, we don't have to do pay-per-views all the time, yada yada yada." Well, now it's like 3 in a month. Am I really looking forward to Wrestle Dream? Not really, but at the same time, for the bullshit random matches that they get in pay-per-views, the stories that are just thrown at us during the pay-per-view, AEW still somehow finds a way to make the pay-per-view somewhat good. It blows my mind how they even do that, because you can go into a match and, like, just say, for example, Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. The story sucks, let's be completely honest. It's just randomly thrown in there, but you know what? They're going to have a good match. And it's going to be one of those that are like, wow, this was really good. So in a way, I kind of am looking forward to it. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, we need to cut it like 1 pay-per-view a month, not, back to back. And then, 2 weeks later, here, we're going to have Wrestle Dream. Like, no, like, just once a month is fine. I understand completely that everybody wants to have a pay-per-view live event, and that's great. But hold your horses there, people. That's just all I got to say. Brad Sanders commented and said, yes, just in case Adam Copeland, a.k.a. Edge, appears on or debuts on there.
Oh my God, they're still on about that. Oh, he's officially done with WWE as of tomorrow, being Saturday, or so that leaves the door open for him to sign with any company.
It's true, but
so that official, I mean, just the tease with the guy in the mask and at the end of Dynamite, which by the way, I actually didn't see that because my recording of Dynamite cut out right before the end of the show. So, who on my goddamn technology problems? but but now the hubbub is, oh, it's gonna be Edge behind the mask. And like I get that, and I understand why some people would be excited for that. But to be honest with you, do I care about Edge in AEW? No. Do I care about Edge as a performer? Yes, and that's why I don't want to see him in AEW, because the style that they wrestle, I'm concerned he's going to get significantly fucked up.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't want that to happen.
Most likely end up doing something terrible to his neck to like totally put him out of wrestling for like good. No one wants that.
He has nothing left to prove. He needs
he was a Hall of Famer, a decade ago. I mean, I understand wanting to come back and finish it on your own terms, but Jesus Christ, enough's enough.
But he did. He had
that's my point.
Yeah,
that's my exact point.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
and Bob Eddie says, I am, but wish it was on Saturday or if I wasn't working Monday. Okay. Well, that was it. That's all the comments we had on that one. Let's go to our next one.
Before you go on, I had
your TikTok
one as well.
Okay. What's on your TikTok?
So, are you looking forward to Wrestle Dream? 80% said yes and 20 said no.
Oh shit!
That's fine. Sure.
Okay, we've been overruled.
Right,
Holy shit! All right.
Sure, why not?
There you go. Our next Facebook poll, we have: if Wardlow goes to WWE, who should his first opponent be? Now, this was kind of like the Jade Cargill post from last week, and we just thought, well, might as well put Wardlow in there. So, guys, who should his first match be? I'm going to say, and here's my thing. I don't think Wardlow is one of those guys that should be in the main event picture right when he comes into WWE. Honestly, I could see him do a main roster run. I really could. But I would want him to face somebody like, I don't like an Austin Theory or like a Grayson Waller, like somebody in the mid-carder, just to give him somebody to go against or to get pushed on, that sort of thing. So I'm going to go with a mid-carder like Theory.
Someone like Zion Quinn, they're doing literally nothing with this guy.
That could be too, honestly.
And seriously, can I just say something about Zion Quinn, and then I promise you we'll get right back to Wardlow.
Sure.
Every time I see this guy, which was including yesterday, I have to see him in a towel on Instagram. And it's like, shut the fuck up. I'm not hating on.
Are you talking about your ex account or your Twitter or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, it's on Instagram, because
it's okay. Okay.
But it's just like, goddamn, man.
Don't lie, Ben. You were looking that up. Come on now.
I'm not swinging on that side of the plate,
There's nothing wrong with that either. It's all good.
No hate to anyone that does, but that's just not me. You know what I mean? So it's like, good God, can we please not? Like, get him in the ring. Like, he has one of the coolest looks, the coolest nicknames. He has a lot of potential. Like, what the fuck am I missing?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But what do you guys think? Who should Wardlow's first opponent be?
Yeah, that's gonna be my answer. That they should use him as one of Wardlow's first opponents. They should use him. Zion Quinn. That's my answer.
Oh, Zion Quinn's your answer. Yeah. Okay, all right. I'm down with that. Ben, who's your pick?
I'm thinking more along the lines of Dijak. I think they would match up very well with their character presentations. So I would say Dijak.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the comments. Josh Sanders says, I'd say put him with Austin Theory as like Theory's bodyguard and then have him eventually go after a U.S. title.
Oh.
No, here's my thing. I agree with going against Theory, but Wardlow does not need to be a bodyguard. That's exactly how he started in AEW with MJF.
Yeah,
and
we've already had that. We don't.
We have. So I don't agree with that. Brad Sanders says Bobby Lashley would be a good match for him as far as size and skill.
No, I'm sorry, but Wardlow is not on the level of Bobby Lashley. To
No.
me, I mean, could he potentially get there? Sure, but you have to keep in mind that Bobby Lashley is a completely different animal. To me, Bobby Lashley, if he would have stayed in WWE from 2007 on,
right.
To me, he could have been just as big as Brock Lesnar.
I agree.
And the only reason why he wasn't is because he went to do the MMA thing. But he has every bit of the badass background that Brock Lesnar has. He's every bit of a freak athlete, and he has the military aspect to it as well. But unlike Lacey Evans, he can actually wrestle.
Right.
So, but it's just I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that one.
I don't, honestly. Alan Dean says Roman Reigns. No.
No,
He's
right
not
away,
gonna jump in.
What?
No.
You can't do that.
What the fuck is with this jumping the gun shit? I just
How does Wardlow automatically earn himself a championship match against Roman Reigns? What?
He hasn't. Sorry.
Exactly.
He hasn't. He hasn't. James Cookin says, feed him Omos. Oh, God.
I don't think anyone wants to see.
Oh, Jesus. No. The only thing you'd be contributing with that matchup is Mr. McMahon's wet dream, and nobody wants to see that unfold.
No, so speaking
right.
of Omos, Johnny Gargano is back. He's been working live events. Says because Omos has been looking for challengers in one event I was reading where Johnny Gargano came out to accept this challenge.
Oh my Lord! Really?
Yeah. I'm like,
wow.
No, if they do that, don't do that. Not to Johnny Gargano.
No. Don Sullivan says LA Knight or AJ Styles. I still wouldn't put him with LA Knight either. I really wouldn't. Or AJ.
No, he's not on that level.
No.
Like nothing against.
I'd put him in NXT. Down in NXT.
Absolutely.
I think I would too, honestly. And a bunch of people here are saying Braun Breaker as well. So,
well, to me, that's a much more reasonable matchup.
Yeah. And then this last comment, and I'm gonna go with that. Todd Rathburn said Gunther. No,
Jesus fucking Christ.
No.
I still wouldn't put him against Gunther either.
No,
that's just on another level too.
Folks,
so
okay, I admit AEW missed a massive opportunity with Wardlow on 2 different occasions.
Right.
I mean, they did, because they could have skyrocketed him when he broke off from MJF. They could have skyrocketed him the first time he won the TNT championship. They didn't do that, and then he went away, and the last match he had, I think, was against Samoa Joe when Samoa Joe cut his hair and quote unquote insulted his father. But it's just, you have to build these people up before they get to superstar status, and that's also my concern with Jade Cargill. I don't want Jade Cargill or Wardlow to fall into this trap of being pushed too high too fast.
I agree. And Elio, did you do this as well on your TikTok?
So my TikTok, I worded it differently. I said, "Are you looking? Do you think Wardlow should go to WWE?"
Okay.
59% said yes, 41% said no.
Well, there you go. All right, that is it for our Facebook post. If you guys have any questions or comments, please go on our Facebook page and we'll try to answer for you because we need content. Let's go on and go into the wrestling news from around the world. It is official. Jade Cargill has signed a multi-year deal with the WWE, and she calls it a no-brainer. Guys, this woman got major hype from WWE.
Oh my God!
I'm shocked as much hype as this woman had got. Seriously,
They better do something with her for like all this attention and hype they put on her.
Yes.
Well, but to extend on your point, Elio, and you're exactly right. But they better make sure that she can hold up under the pressure of all the hype that they've given her, because, you know, and this is not. I want to reiterate, this is not me hating on Jade Cargill. I've said this before, and Elio can back me up.
Mm-hmm.
I've said she has the look, she has the charisma, she has a lot of what it takes to be successful in this business, minus the in-ring aspect. But the reality of the situation is this: if you don't have the wrestling aspect, everything else falls in on itself rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not everybody is a Goldberg or a, you know, or somebody like that.
Right.
And with the level of where the WWE women's division has been, I'm not gonna say where it is now, because the way the women's division has been booked recently has been terrible. But having the women presented as seriously as they are now, with the level of talent they have on that roster,
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, Jade had better train her fucking ass off to get up to speed. And I think, you know, in her defense, I think she might have the capability to learn that and get better, because she is a freak athlete. I mean, just look at her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's not only is she beautiful, I mean, that's obvious, but she's a physical specimen, the likes of which I've very rarely seen in a female.
She screams star. That's just how her look is. It's just a star. Now,
exactly. But can she have all the other aspects that are needed to become a star?
That's true. I guess we'll see. But congratulations to Jade. Eddie Kingston signs a new contract with AEW, so he's staying in AEW.
I thought he was done with AEW. Didn't he say he was done on that one episode?
He did. He did.
Why did he give the ROH championship? You always say you're going to send him to ROH.
I guess. I don't know, man. Eddie Kingston's a different cat now. That's just all I got to say to it. But congratulations for him. Sure, stay in AEW. Hulk Hogan apparently got married for the third time this past week to Sky Daly, who is 45 years old, and he just turned 70. So congratulations to the Hulkster. Sure, whatever.
I got to tell you, nobody cares.
Exactly.
I don't give a shit. You know, it's to the point where I wish we could edit the part out where we mentioned it.
Well,
because
it's wrestling related. It burned my skin to put this in my news because you guys know how I feel about Hulk Hogan.
To your point, it doesn't burn my skin; it chaps my ass.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, did you? I mean, I'm not gonna mention it in detail, but if you guys are interested, go and look at his daughter's response to her being criticized about not showing up at the wedding.
I read that.
Yeah, she's not happy.
Yeah.
And those comments are very telling. You know, the fact that she didn't, you know, just say fuck that and fuck this and be like, and the fact that she was like, look, there are, issues there, and, because of things that have been done, I've chosen to step back. The use of that language, to me, is more powerful than 1,000 F-bombs.
Yeah.
To me, her willingness to take the high road with this guy speaks volumes.
True. Next, we have Jacob Fatu recently said in an interview that he would love to come to WWE to follow in his family's footsteps.
I'd love to see him there.
I would too. I think it's long overdue. I think this guy needed to be in WWE a long time ago.
Samoan Werewolf, I mean, if you want to inject new life into the fucking bloodline, and I'm not saying, and I'm not automatically just lumping him into the bloodline because of the family connection. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying that is an option that exists.
Right.
And if you have ever seen this guy wrestle, if you have ever, everything about this guy screams legit.
Yes.
To me, he is the same level of badassery as a Solo Sikoa. Can you imagine them as a cohesive unit? That's like Bloodline 2.0. That could be a preview of the future right there. That could be another chapter in the Samoan dynasty for real.
I would love to see it. I would. But that's all I have for the news. I do have a couple of rumors. And again, people, these are just rumors, so don't come at me for it. I have also heard a rumor that Tony Khan and his dad are looking to buy New Japan Pro Wrestling.
No.
I heard that too.
Don't do that.
No.
He can barely run AEW. He's gonna run New Japan as well. He's not
Exactly.
doing anything. You want to know?
He runs two promotions already. Stop it.
Want to know how you
You're
can
right.
tell ROH is forgettable and no one watches it? When you have a main event featuring Alex Abrahantes versus Mark Sterling.
That was the main event.
That was an actual main event match on the most recent ROH episode.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I told that he was like, what?
And I'll be completely honest with you. I've only seen ROH like 2 or 3 different times. But
It's
knowing that it's gotten to that fucking level, I'm glad I don't watch it.
Yeah, and
like,
Clay,
oh my God.
Clay, can I just say something as somebody who has appreciated ROH and has watched it?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate the history, but what the fuck?
But yes, exactly. But this is not the ROH that you've heard of. This is
no.
This is not the Adam Cole ROH. This is not the Kyle O'Reilly ROH. This is not Briscoe Brothers ROH. Kevin Steen ROH. Mike Bennett, the Kingdom ROH. No, this is terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. So I
mean, the best thing I can say about Alex Abrahantes is he's a fellow pug enthusiast like me.
That's why I've been the pug father.
But it's just to put them in a wrestling ring in the main event of, oh my God. My brain hurts.
Yeah, tell Khan, stay away from New Japan, please. Please stay away.
I'm begging you.
And my last rumor, Uncle Howdy may not be done either. Source has told today Triple H wants Bo Dallas to carry on the legacy and is willing to give him the proper opportunity to do so. Talks ongoing, but one to keep an eye out for after Survivor Series going forward. Big possibility we see him show up December or January. Now, when I saw this rumor, I have mixed emotions on it. I really do, because I think if anybody were to carry the Uncle Howdy character and storyline, it should be Bo. Just because he's Bray's brother, and that's completely understandable why he would want to finish that story. But here's my problem. I don't feel like the Uncle Howdy character will be done right because it's not Bray. I feel like Bray's idea probably was in his head the whole time. I'm sure I would think that he didn't tell many people about what he wanted to do with his character or this character or whatsoever. I don't want them to disrespect Bray and make it a whole different thing and not know what Bray actually would want. You see what I'm saying there?
Yeah.
It's kind of like
they wouldn't do it the way Bray wanted. They would do
exactly
what they want to do.
Exactly, and
like
that's
that.
where I have a problem with. But what do you guys think? I'm just mixed on it.
No, I'm just
I'm just
Bo
like,
has to do it himself, but do it the way he thinks, and not have WB take control of it and do things their way. Yes,
that's not gonna happen.
No, I'm saying if they were to do it, he would have to do it his way, not the way WWE would want, because they don't know what Bray had in mind.
No, and that's what scares me, because I feel like Bray, if he was still alive, I feel like, of course, his character would still be going. He would do exactly how he was going to do it, and I feel like it would have been phenomenal once it got to the point. You know what I'm saying? And that's what scares me at the end of the day. So, again, this is all rumor. I guess we'll see when that time comes. That is all I have for rumors. Injuries. I heard Sheamus has a really bad shoulder injury.
I was reading some about that.
Yeah.
Him not being on SmackDown has something to do with like travel issues or whatever, like something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's all I've heard about it. I haven't heard anything about surgery or that this or that. So I guess we'll find out later on. And another injury update: Adam Cole will have to have ankle surgery, as he needs surgery for 3 hurt spots in his ankle from jumping off the stage.
I've heard that's a work, though.
Really?
Yeah. Was that when he ran down and he jumped off the stage there?
He jumped off the ramp, and then he came down on his ankle or foot or whatever, and now
I've heard that's a work, though.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll see. But yeah, he's hurt. I guess so. I told my wife, honestly, I was like, the luck of Adam Cole just sucks. If this is a legit injury and he has to have surgery and all that, it's like you were just down for concussion problems, and now you got this.
They showed the X-ray.
Did they?
Yeah.
But that could have been faked. I don't know, but it just seems like it's a storyline. I could be wrong, folks. Don't quote me on that, and don't burn me at the proverbial stake. But I'm just.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. But that's all I have for injuries. Let's go right into the hot tag news this week. This week was simply name this tag team. It was Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. Guys, did you guys come up with a name for this tag team? Because honestly, I sure as hell didn't.
No, I didn't. Elio, this is all you, brother, because
I can't come up with that. I was thinking of this would even. I don't even know. Like they would probably they probably use this Theory and Effect. That's the best I came up with.
That's pretty good though.
Yeah,
I like it.
It would probably be a ripoff of like the Chippendales or some bullshit.
Right.
With the Aussie connection or whatever the fuck.
Sure. I'm just terrible with tag team names, and I don't want to sound stupid.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's where I'm at with it. Let's go to the comments, shall we? Josh Sanders says, I like what I heard them say A-Town Down Under. And I think that's one of the names that they came up with, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or their name.
Everyone was saying there. Yeah, that's the name they heard.
Okay. Yeah. Which is good. Sure. Brad Sanders says the A-Town Down Under effect. So somewhat similar to that. Blair Wilson says the Grayson Theory effect. So I guess I see kind of a similarities here. Let me go to a couple more. Let's see here. Jordan Forgas says the Theory effect. Let's see. Tyler Capello says Waller Theory. Okay. Vincent Songa says a town effect. Or a town effect. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Ben, that you know what, the rest of these are just, you guys are awful with it, honestly. You're just, it's not really you they're answering the question, so I don't want to get into it because I don't really want to yell tonight. That's where I'm at with it. Like some comments were Dumb and Dumber. It just, yeah.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to go with the comments this week, or this one. Oh, here's a funny one. You're kind of copying MJF and Adam Cole when you say Damian Perez says the Brochachos. I do like that name though. That's funny.
Yeah.
But it's Adam Cole and MJF, dude. Like they've said it several times.
Yeah.
So, but that's all I have for the hot tag news this week. If you guys have any comments, like I said, drop us a line on our Facebook page or personally message us, and we'll try to answer your question. With that being said, let's take a pause for the cause. And when we come back, we got This Week in Wrestling, and we'll talk a little bit about No Mercy and Wrestle Dream, and we'll get on with the rest of the show. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is your Olympic hero, Kurt Angle. Listen to the Wrestling POV podcast. Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Hi, I'm WWE superstar Charlotte Flair, also known as the Queen, and listen to Wrestling POV podcast and always do it with Flair. Woo!
This is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and you are listening to the Wrestling POV podcast.
And we're back, and you can find Wrestling POV every Saturday on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Now it's time to get This Week in Wrestling. Clay, let's get raw.
All right, but before we get into that, we got the fantasy matchup this week. I told you guys at the start of the show, I got a doozy one for you, and I'm really excited about this one. So it'll be Elio versus Ben this week. Guys, I need a number from 1 to 20. Elio, go first.
12.
All right, Ben, 1 through 20.
14.
All right, my number was, and I'll show the guys on here, I did it before the show. Come on, stupid phone. All right, I had 10. So Elio gets the pick, and your pick is a 90. This is male wrestlers this week. So will you pick a 90 star or a 2000 star?
I'll go with the 90s.
All right, we got this week the 90 star. Elio's pick, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You bet.
No, wait. Versus Ben's pick, John Cena.
Oh, whoopie fucking do.
Wow. You're not excited about that one?
Why is the
16
GOAT?
16-time world champ?
I'm excited about the matchup, but I'd much rather take Stone Cold.
Well, there you go. There you go. But that is your fantasy match this week. So, guys, get your votes in, and we'll see who wins this one. We're jumping right into AEW Collision to start off this week in wrestling. So, Ben, what is your review?
Oh, boy, folks. Holy crap.
I'm so thrilled.
Well, in comparison to the other shows, I should be thrilled. But let me start with low points, and this is going to sound blasphemous. But I have to go with, where is it? Let me pull the match so I know where it is. Hold on. The fuck? Where? God damn it! My computer doesn't like the site I use. Anywho, the first low point is the Rob Van Dam and Hook versus Angelo Parker and Matt Menard. And before you guys say anything, yes, I know they were in Grand Rapids, Michigan, the backyard of Rob Van Dam, who's from Battle Creek.
That's
get
not
it.
the point, though.
No.
That's why we give it a low point.
Yeah.
But the thing here, folks, is who the fuck cares about anything Angelo Parker and Matt Menard?
I don't.
Thank you.
It's just why are they still a thing when the Jericho Appreciation Society isn't a thing and the reason I bring up the Jericho Appreciation Society, in case you thought Angelo Parker and Matt Menard were just a tag team by themselves, because Jake Hager and Anna Jay were with them, so that's why I bring up the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Did Jake have his stupid hat?
No, he didn't.
I didn't see that, but the fact that he didn't, according to Clay, is a step up in things,
right?
Because the fact that we are focused with a hat when we have a freak athlete the nature of a Jake Hager,
right,
is blasphemous. Secondly, and I know the answer because of the ECW connection with his dad, but does anybody else find Rob Van Dam and Hulk to be one hell of a random tag team?
Yeah, very random. I was like,
one can wrestle, always has, one can't. That's just straight up.
But when I saw this team, I'm like, what? That's so random. How did these two get paired together?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, next low point, because I promised you I wouldn't go on any rants, so I'm behaving myself. Julia Hart versus Kiera Hogan. This was much more about the post-match announcement that Julia Hart will be facing
Chris Statlander.
Yes, thank you, Chris Statlander for the TBS title. Okay, it's awfully random, and believe me, Julia Hart is really growing on me. I think she really is improving. But this match just didn't do anything for me. But I think Nightingale and Hart could be interesting.
I agree.
Let's see here. Oh yes. How dare I forget the next low point? Tag team titles, FTR versus Workhorsemen. And as much as it's blasphemous to give anything involving FTR a low point, hear me out, folks. Number one, this match went 4 minutes and 34 seconds. No. Just no. I get enough of that with NXT, which Clay will be covering in a minute. Clay, you're an angel because I don't have to cover NXT. Thank Christ. Small miracles do exist. But I do have to cover this match. And, I'm in the camp of why are we doing this with FTR, doing the rounds with the lower end tag teams on Collision. And Dax had something to say in response to his criticism, and he said, well, we're doing it because it'll get these teams over when we're not here. It'll elevate them to a higher position.
Elevate the Workhorsemen? How? What?
No, exactly. Where the fuck is Workhorsemen gonna get over? Please tell me.
Well, and that's my point. See, you took the words right out of my mouth. And on top of that, if you were gonna try to get a new tag team over, you might be more successful if the match itself was longer than 4.5 minutes. Just a thought.
These guys haven't been on AEW period in months, and all of a sudden they get a title shot.
How?
For what? And that doesn't even make sense.
No. The only highlight of the Workhorseman is that whatever his name is looks like Kevin Owens' dad.
JD Drake.
JD Drake. That is KO. And he's retired here in the next 20 years. Seriously.
I know.
I can't get over the fact how much he looks like Kevin Owens. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, it's weird. But moving on to high points, believe it or not, there were high points. First up, we had, I'm just going to the top of the card, Christian Cage versus Darby Allin versus Luchasaurus. I'm sorry. As much as I give credit to the match, can we stop making Luchasaurus look like a bat boy, please?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm begging you.
Right.
I'm begging for this Luchasaurus heel turn, because good God,
Yeah.
who puts the man that just took your title from you on their shoulders to celebrate? Yay! I mean, the only person that looked worse than Luchasaurus did in that segment was Mike Kanellis back when they were doing the Cuck storyline in WWE. I mean, good God. Stop. This is just embarrassing. But I'm willing to be somewhat forgiving because I know where this is headed. But still, it's just a bad visual.
Yep.
So next high point is Andrade El Idolo versus Jay White. You could have put this on pay-per-view and I would have been happy to watch this shit. This was fantastic.
Yep.
Then I also really enjoyed the main event, Ricky Starks versus Bryan Danielson in the Texas Death Match, which okay. The one pet peeve I have here, folks, why do they call it a Texas Death Match? I know they had the strap. I know, I understand. But for all intent and purpose, this was a last man standing match. This is not a Texas Death Match.
Yeah, but
okay?
That's been around since the 80s, the 70s, 80s. They used to have them a lot back then.
Somebody put in an old Terry Funk tape, and then you'll find out what a Texas Death Match really is. Shut the fuck up.
It's true.
Am I being too critical?
Well, the ones you can't really call them Texas Death Match. The ones they had back then were.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so clearly I'm not being too critical. I kind of feel better now. But the match in and of itself was a high point. I did appreciate that, and I do feel like this really elevates Ricky Starks, and we're starting to go somewhere with him because I feel like Ricky Starks has been in neutral forever, and it's been driving me nuts. So I'm happy to see him get elevated. But Clay, what did you have for high points and low points?
Brother, you took everything right out of my mouth. Honestly, I had the same exact thing as you did. A bunch of these matches were pretty predictable, in my opinion, of how some things were going to go down. But it was an okay collision, I guess. So I have not much more to add.
Elio, what's up, man? What you got?
I've got the same as you. High points and low points. Yep.
Okay, very good. So that ends my first segment of the evening, and we'll pass it over to
overalls.
Oh yeah, what's your overall?
I'll give it a B minus.
I'm right there with you. I gave it a B minus.
Mostly on the strength of the main event.
B minus.
Yep. All right. Now let's jump into Raw. I'll go ahead and start out with high points. I put Ciampa versus Ludwig Kaiser as a high point. I thought this was a good match between these two, going back and forth. Vinci with the distraction, kind of, with Ciampa hitting him with the knee and then him being hurt. And then Kaiser, not like, get out of the ring, kicks him out of the ring. Ciampa gets the quick pin. And here's my thing. They're adding more to this story of Vinci getting in the way of, Imperium getting the win and, all that. Then they're doing the backstage thing. And it's kind of planting the seeds of what something, was going to go down between Vinci, Kaiser, and Gunther here at some point. I still feel like the faction's strong, but it's slowly getting to that point. Even though it was still a good match with Ciampa and Kaiser. My other high point, Dom Mysterio versus Dragon Lee. I thought this was a great match. Honestly, Dom kept up with Dragon Lee, and it's bad for me to say that. Dom has improved so much that he can hang with a guy like Dragon Lee. So this was awesome. I really enjoyed this match. Dom retaining the title, sure, so be it, whatever.
I was not a fan of that. I really would have had him drop the championship to Dragon Lee. But other than that, the match was awesome.
Yeah, I agree to that. But here's my thing, though. What I was happy with it was just Dom out there. They didn't have Rhea, they didn't have Finn, and they didn't have Damian. So it was all Dominic by himself, and he got the win. So I was glad to see that. For once, he didn't have help. So there you go. Next, I had Drew McIntyre versus Kofi Kingston. Good match. I'm liking this slow heel turn by McIntyre, though. I feel like he's a better heel than he is a babyface. I'm ready for him.
You can tell it's going to happen any day now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I'm looking forward to it. I love Drew McIntyre as a heel.
Yep.
And I'm ready to see that. So this was a good match. And the main event, Judgment Day versus Kevin Owens and Sammy. Good match, good main event. But here's my thing. I feel like this whole thing with Judgment Day, Kevin Owens and Sammy is starting to become, a repeat of previous Raws and, something like that. So I hope this is kind of the end of this, not really the end of the rivalry, but with the tag titles with KO and Sammy versus Judgment Day. I feel like it's getting repetitive during, of course, the main event. And that's where I'm at with it. I'm not saying they're bad, but it's getting to the point of where, okay, you exactly know what the main event's going to be. So that's where I'm at with it. I still gave it a high point, though, with JD McDonough coming in to help and that sort of thing. Sure, they're building that story to that. That's all I have for high points. The only low point I had for Raw was Nia Jax versus Zoe Stark. And here's my reason why. Zoe Stark is getting somewhat of a push after this Trish separation of that, okay? With Nia coming in, I understand completely what they're doing because they got to make Nia look strong. But why against Zoe Stark? Zoe's supposed to be getting up there and top of the card, at least the main event of the women's division, but yet you have her job to Nia Jax. It's like, no, it feels like a step down. You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly, the wrong woman to go against. Yes, it made Nia look good, but it hurt Zoe, I think, more. But that's just where I'm at. It wasn't that great of a match. It was more of like a 3 or 4 minute beat down by Nia Jax. So that's the only low point I have for Raw. And that's all I had for Raw. So, Elio, what'd you have?
So I have the same high points and low points. I did add a Natalia match to my low points.
Yeah, I can see why.
And it's about the only other one, maybe Otis and Bronson Reed. Okay, it wasn't bad, but it was just, for me, it was meh.
You didn't like that man meat?
No, please. Look, as a match, it's great, and I understand why they do that, because quite frankly, every time I see that segment with the New Day on Twitter and Big E's doing the voice impression with the big men slapping meat or whatever the fuck he said. Yeah. I laugh my ass off. I really do. That doesn't mean it has to be a thing on WWE TV.
I agree.
I just, I'm not interested in hearing the commentators say that.
Yeah. I get it.
And in a way, I think it really discredits both Bronson Reed and Otis, because you're putting them in a comedic role. And I know Otis is kind of in a comedic role, but Bronson Reed belongs nowhere near comedy.
He should be doing comedy. Bronson Reed shouldn't be.
No. Is that all you had, Elio?
All I got. Yep.
All right, Ben, what'd you have?
So I had the same highs and lows as Elio. But I'll also add Nia Jax promo as a low point, not just the match.
Repetitive.
See, I'm not ignoring you or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm Nia Jax.
Yeah,
like
who you are.
And she's awful at cutting promos, and the thing is, what you said, Elio, is right on point, and Clay as well. Like, I understand why they're doing it, because they need somebody who looks like they can realistically bring down Rhea, because they haven't built anybody else up to do so. So I get that entirely.
Mm-hmm.
But this is just my personal problem. I don't give a fuck about anything Nia Jax. it takes me out of the matches completely, and Zoe Stark is just the wrong person to be doing this to. So that's all I had for Raw. So
all right. Overall, I gave Raw a B this week. Elio, what'd you get?
Yeah, I went with the B as well.
All right, and Ben, what'd you get?
I'll give it a B minus.
All right, we're going right into NXT. High points. I'll start off with Butch versus Joe Coffey. I thought this was a good match. Butch getting the win to go against Noam Dar. Honestly, I'm hoping Butch ends up winning this. I'm sick and tired of Noam Dar. I'm sick and tired of this whole what's it called? Metaphor. I'm sick of that fucking team. See, I'm tired of looking at him. I'm tired of seeing him.
I was right. Last week I had to go back and watch that one segment where they were interviewing Noam Dar. He started out like with his normal voice, then he went into some robotic voice, like he was one of the guys from the Matrix.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Keanu Reeves should kill this motherfucker. Keanu Reeves should John Wick this motherfucker.
But it was still a good match. And the other high point I had, the Fatal 4-Way with Dragon Lee, Tyler Bate, Axiom, and Trick Williams. Good match. 3 guys carried it. I'm sorry.
Why are we having Trick? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. You're good.
I can't contain myself. I was waiting to ask you this specifically, Clay. All seriousness, all joking aside, Trick Williams winning and competing for the North American title at No Mercy. How you feeling about that?
It's a problem. Honestly, here's my thing. During this match, Trick Williams did not belong with these 3 guys. He has nowhere near the skill set as these other 3. There's no reason on God's green earth that Trick Williams should have won this in the main event and get all the hype that he's getting. He still needs work. He's going against Dom, which, no offense to Dom, but he still isn't the greatest wrestler in the world. Now, he's much
better than Trick.
He is much better than Trick. But here's my thing. You were just going against Dragon Lee on Raw. Good match. Carried it with Dragon Lee. You're telling me that Dom is going to carry this match with Trick? Because I'm telling you what, Trick is not going to carry this match with Dominic Mysterio. I'm sorry. This match is going to scare me. How this is going to be.
I hate what they're doing with Dominic. Last week I thought it was just that one episode. They did it again this week. They drowned him out when he was like on the mic.
Yeah,
and I don't know if you caught this, and Elio, I'm directly talking to Clay in a way because we already discussed a lot of this on our podcast. So I'm aiming my questions toward Clay, but no offense to you whatsoever. But
you're good.
But is it just me, or are the fans on Twitter really fucking annoying to a certain degree with this conspiracy theory regarding Dom and the level of noise? I don't know if you saw this, Clay.
Yeah.
Sean Ross Sapp, of all people, he was sitting there, ringside at Raw, and he was trying to claim that the noise was all natural. Okay, now, first of all, I'm not going to believe Sean Ross Sapp worth a shit because I think he's just a WWE shill. But the point that I brought up to Elio earlier this week was, I'm not comparing these two in terms of wrestling skill. I'm just comparing the pops, right?
Right.
So if you compare Stone Cold's pop in like '98 to Dom's pop now, Stone Cold used to get the biggest pops of the night, but yet I could still hear him perfectly clear on the mic. Every fucking word. and
Yep.
that crowd was going batshit insane for Stone Cold. You mean to tell me you can't turn up the fucking mic loud enough so that we can hear Dominic Mysterio? You mean to tell me that you are not purposely manipulating? And I'm not blaming them for this, because what they're doing to draw heat with Dominic Mysterio is wonderful.
Right.
I haven't seen this in a while, so I'm not necessarily blaming them for this. But to have motherfuckers insult my intelligence and tell me that crowd is reacting more to Dominic Mysterio than they did someone the caliber of Stone Cold Steve Austin is a fucking joke.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I agree. That was a good match either way. Trick winning, not a big fan of. So that's the only that's all I have for high points of NXT. Low points. Trick Williams versus Joe Gacy.
Yeah.
Again, you start off the show with this. What are you doing with Joe Gacy? Having him lose that quick to freaking Trick Williams? Schism needs a reboot or needs gone. I'm sorry. It's just
get some new because you don't have the diet there anymore. Get a new team, or just be done with Schism altogether.
Yep.
I would just X him out.
Yep.
I really would.
I'm right there with you. I am. But that was a low point. Another low point I had Baron Corbin versus Josh Briggs. A random match out of nowhere. Corbin got the win. I mean, you understand why this match was going down and make Corbin look strong, but why against Josh Briggs?
I think this was off of last week. Their backstage encounter last week or something.
Oh,
but still,
right. It was. And my last low point. Out of the Mud, which is Bronco and Price versus Hank and Tank. What the fuck? Why? Oh, yeah, we're out of the mud. Yeah. And what pisses me off more, I've seen potential in these guys, and I really do see it, even though they have a stupid fucking nickname.
I think they trademarked that name. I'm like, why?
Yes. But the problem is fucking scripts with this. That's why did you put this man with these guys that have fucking potential, in my opinion?
Right.
You throw in this wannabe, oh yeah, I'm from the hood. Bro, you're from Circus Olay. Shut your fucking mouth.
Right?
I don't want
to.
Oh my God. I cannot stand scripts, Reggie, whatever character you want to be now. It's ridiculous.
Last week, and I love Clay for this. Thank you. It's so great. That made my evening. But last week, could you fucking believe that Scripps was shooting dice with these motherfuckers?
That's my point. It's like, what?
God.
It's ridiculous. These guys look like they're from the hood. I understand that completely. But now I can't take you seriously because you got him. I'm sorry.
They look like a modern day Crime Time is what they look like.
That's a good comparison. But Crime Time didn't have a freaking idiot like that. So. Oh, man. But it's true, man. I mean, that's all I have for low points. I did have a couple side notes, though. I love the intensity that Ilya Dragunov brings off with that contract signing. That is rare, guys. I have not seen that in a wrestler in a really long time. How Ilya just gets that facials and his veins are popping out of his head, and it's like, holy shit, this guy's fucking scary. And I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, for a guy his size to be able to bring off that intensity and that oh shit factor when his music hits, I love it. You know, because when I first saw him in the UK against Walter, God damn it. But you know, when I first saw that match at one of the takeovers, I was like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you look at the size comparison and not to be generic and make stereotypes, but I'm thinking to myself, this guy's gonna get run over like a road spike.
Mm-hmm.
And he was going toe to toe with Gunther and making me believe it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought this guy was gonna be like a Spike Dudley thing. When I first saw him, to tell you the truth.
And when freaking Gunther hit him with those chops, I'm like, how? I can feel
Right.
that. Stop.
Oh, and by the way, I still, even with Gunther, and I don't think that's how you chop. I think Eddie Kingston does it much worse because his is much more obvious and much less impactful, and with the cover, fucking whatever. But I get it. But even with Walter's chops, I'm pretty sure that's not how you chop. I mean, I'm not gonna say that to his face.
No.
But I'm pretty sure that's not a traditional chop.
And my other side note, did you guys notice the unseen figure watching early highlights of Brian Pillman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
it's
so...
a thing of Brian Pillman Jr.?
It's so obvious.
Part of NXT,
oh, yeah.
What was that? What
it was like in the middle of the part of the show. It came back from commercial. It was really quick. So if you missed it, I can see why. But it was like maybe 10 to 15 seconds and then it went away. So I didn't know if you guys caught it or not. So I'm sure that's Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, I mean everybody, but I don't know about you, but I'm hoping they don't automatically bring him in and try to like recreate his dad, because I don't think that would be fair to the guy.
No, I agree. And that's all I have for NXT. Elio, what'd you get?
Yeah, so for high points, I have Butch and Joe Coffey. I did have that 4-way, the main event, and I also put that strap match, Eddie Thorpe and Dijak.
Okay.
Low points. Yeah. I'm sorry, Tony, but I had to give it to Thea Hale and Danny Palmer.
Uh-oh. You're going to hear it next week.
And OTM and Hank versus Hank and Tank. And everything else that
Hank in the Tank. Are you kidding me?
That's what they're called. It's
this 1990s American Gladiators or some shit? What the fuck?
Well, they wanted to call themselves Smash Mouth.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Well, I don't think they'll be doing it now that the lead singer of the band is dead.
Well, do you know what WWE was trying to do? They can't be this stupid. They were trying to trademark the name Barbie.
Are you serious?
She wants to be the modern day Barbie, since debuting in NXT, and WWE's trying to trademark that name.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good God!
What?
Jeez, dumb. Is that all you had?
That's all I have.
All right, Ben, what'd you have?
So first up, I had the Fatal 4-Way as a high point. I had the contract signing between Hayes and Dragunov.
Okay.
I have let's see, what else? I have anything else? I'll get and obviously Butch and Joe Coffey. Low points. I'll give it to the promo with Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, and the D'Angelo family and stuff like that. It was just really weird. There was one other tag team.
All the teams sitting at the table.
Yeah, it was really weird. And then I'll disagree with Elio on this one. I actually gave a low point to the strap match.
Okay.
It was just too short, and the other thing is, NXT is really overplaying the little kids thing. And just WWE in general, like scaring the little kids. They did it with well, at the time this guy wasn't little, but Gigi Dolan's brother, in her match with JC Jane, and then they do it here with Eddie Thorpe's 6-year-old niece. and then they did it on Raw with Chad Gable's daughter. Like, it just takes away from the shit. Like, if you do it once, it's fine. But if you're like zooming the camera on him 6 times per match, it's like, shut the fuck up. You know, is Jungle Boy's mom in the thing? You know, is Nick Wayne's mom in the audience? You know, the fuck.
Right.
You know, pardon me, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then Baron Corbin versus Josh Briggs, don't get it. And Tony, I'm gonna piss you off too, brother, but Thea Hale and Danny Palmer gotta go.
Oh,
I don't.
It's not Thea Hale, it's Danny Palmer.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Well, I'm just talking about the match, but yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm talking about the match, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Overall, I give NXT a C this week. Elio, what'd you give it?
Yeah, I give it a C as well.
Ben, what'd you give it?
I'll give it a C-.
All right. We're going to Dynamite with Elio.
We have to.
Oh, damn.
High point. What can I say for, you know what? The high point I gave to the Claudio Castagnoli, Brian Cage and Nick Jackson, but
how fucking random.
But okay, when I was reading this, like, eliminator match for what? You didn't explain that.
Nope.
And I gave another high point to the Adam Cole MJF promo and Jay White.
That was a good promo. It really was.
Low point. Ray Phoenix and Jeff Jarrett, Aubrey Edwards. Okay, this is what I hate. Referees getting involved in the match. They should be involved in the ring. Why are you getting involved with the wrestlers? And then
they were trying to explain the rivalry between freaking Aubrey Edwards and Karen Jarrett.
They had one match.
Fuck cares?
They had one match.
Like,
oh my god.
Yeah,
Aubrey Edwards just annoys the shit out of me because she makes everything about herself.
Aubrey Edwards had one match on Rampage.
Oh, for God's sake.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
This is terrible.
Other points.
No. Like, I'm sorry. Unless your name is fucking, you know, Dave Hebner or Earl Hebner, I don't want to see you as part of the fucking, you know, show. I don't. You know. No. Aubrey Edwards tries, and all of the AEW referees are guilty of this, but especially Aubrey Edwards.
Yep.
Aubrey Edwards tries to be as equally as important to the match as wrestlers. She is so fucking overly emotive. It's just, you know, every movement is spastic, and it's like, you know, I move less when I have an actual spasm.
My little point, Will Nightingale, Julie Hart, and that Don Callis family promo. When they showed that stupid video of them in Japan attacking Kota Ibushi. Like,
that was stupid.
And that's Scar. I swear that's Scar.
Yep.
Oh my god.
He's ridiculous.
That's all I've got.
I'm going to make mine short and sweet, man. I had the same exact thing. I'm not going to go into any more because Dynamite just really rubbed me the wrong way this week.
See, their pay-per-views, we always say, oh, we don't know what to expect. We're not really looking forward to it. Then their pay-per-views end up being good. But their go-home shows suck. They
do. It's terrible. And the fact of the matter, I'll put a side note here. Your main event is a contract signing with Adam Page and Swerve Strickland?
That was bad.
That was terrible. What the fuck? I just, again, make mine short and sweet. I had exactly what you had, Elio.
Yep.
That's all I have for Dynamite.
Okay, so a lot of the high points were the same. I think you only had one, which I don't blame you for, but I had the same one. But I had a particular problem with the Fatal 4-Way involving Matt Jackson.
Yep.
Can someone explain to me why a tag team wrestler who has only had four singles matches in AEW is in a #1 contenders match for a singles title? Please.
And yet Orange Cassidy wins this match. Shocker.
So what
out
what
of the
was,
fucking world.
what was the point of that? If
There's
if we're not gonna get a new contender, something fresh, what the fuck is the point? And it sounds like I'm being an asshole, but you know what, folks? Sometimes you just have to call a spade, and if something sucks and doesn't make sense, I'm gonna say something. If you want a podcast that kisses a particular promotion's ass for the sake of getting clicks and shit, go somewhere
You're on the wrong
else.
show.
I just,
Yep.
I'm not wired that way. This shit makes no sense whatsoever.
Oh,
What have any of these men done? And I'll say that for both of the Fatal 4-Way matches. What have any of these men done to warrant them getting a title shot? I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm. No.
That's all I have, folks.
All right.
overall, D-.
I thought I was generous. Gave the show a D.
This is your go-home show. This is what you give us going into a pay-per-view they've been hyping up as the Antonio Inoki tribute show or something like that. That's what they call it.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's what they said.
Yeah.
To one of the greatest wrestlers / promoters in the game, and this is what you do. What the fuck?
Yeah.
If something was semi-logical, I wouldn't be this heated, folks. But
Right.
you know what? I get heated because I spend a lot of time watching wrestling. One, because I enjoy it, but also it's a job for me because I come on here and I try to do the best job I can for Elio and Clay and Tony. And the fact that I'm on this and you guys know my name, I take this seriously, And I'm not here to just dick around and play a popularity contest. This shit, this shit is awful.
Mm-hmm.
It truly fucking is terrible.
Yep. What was your overall?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good.
A D-. It's just where for a go home show for a pay-per-view. What did you do to excite me?
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You have the fans chanting weed in the middle of a fucking MJF promo, and I'm just like, the fuck?
But they were in Colorado. That's the reason why.
I don't give a fuck.
Fuck that. Whatever. I'm with you on it. We'll go ahead and jump into SmackDown. Ben, what do you got for SmackDown?
Oh, yay. Finally, something where I can actually give you something I was excited to see. Absolute high point of the night, Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar.
Yes.
And I like how they teased right before the Street Profits attack. Mm-hmm. They really teased like Santos Escobar taking time to consider congratulating Rey Mysterio. They sold it like it was so obvious that he was going to give Rey respect, but I wasn't reading it like that. So it's like the slow burn of possibly turning. I said from the get-go, you don't necessarily have to turn one of them heel to make this successful. Sometimes that things can be truly based on respect.
I agree.
But if you're going, especially with the LWO being formed, that's what I wanted to happen, and I would still say that. However, if you were going to turn Santos heel, Rey is the guy to do that against. So I get it. It's just not how I would do it. But the match was fantastic. Realistically, that's the only high point I can give you. Because Jimmy Uso and Carl Anderson was too short to really consider it anything. If this is what they're going to do with Cameron Grimes, I don't know why he's still employed.
It's sad.
I love Cameron Grimes, but what the fuck?
Yep.
This was a grand total of 3 minutes and 3 seconds.
And that was his first time in SmackDown for however long. It's been a long time since we've seen him.
Exactly. And it's like, oh, we'll just pull this guy from catering randomly. I mean, I'd rather let the guy eat pancakes than have a match like this. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
And then the low point, also Charlotte and Bailey, and this is not going to turn into an anti-Charlotte thing. I just, it's just there's too much outside bullshit. And, if you just let these two wrestle and let it be without all the extracurriculars, I probably would have given you a high point.
Mm-hmm.
But it just is what it is. Elio, what did you have, bud?
Yeah, I had the same low points and same high points. The only high point was Mysterio Santos Escobar. I mean, the opening segment was really nothing. It led right into a match, like you said, that was way too short to give a high point, which to me was from Carl Anderson. Yeah. And everything else is the same.
Yeah, it was honestly, I had the same exact high points, low points. It's just the random fact. The only high point was the Santos Rey Mysterio match. Mm-hmm. I love that match. Two guys really going at it. It was awesome. The low point.
They had a grand total of 4 matches, right, on the show?
Yes.
Okay, yep. No, so last week they had 3. So I was like, wait, man, is that right?
I guess. Like, what is it with SmackDown and only having like 3 or 4 matches?
They like doing minimum matches and maximum backstage segments and interviews. I don't know.
I guess it seems like it, but that's the thing. Is like, here's my problem with it. You, like we've said, Cameron Grimes being on the show finally, he gets squashed like that. Mm-hmm. What was the other one? Freaking Carl Anderson. When's the last time we've seen Carl Anderson in a match and he loses to Jimmy? Like, it's that point. It's like, why are you?
Luke Gallows is out with an injury.
Yeah, and AJ and whatever, but sure. But that's all I had for SmackDown. The exact same things with Cameron Grimes' Theory, Carl Anderson, Jimmy Uso for low points. So overall, I gave SmackDown a B-.
For me, I gave it a C. It was an odd show.
Yeah,
it was like a weird show going in. Like they really hyped up John Cena, and they're like, "We have breaking news: that Goat has landed."
Yeah, I've seen that too. It's like, is John making his Fast and Furious impression there with coming in with the Mustang? And I'm like, really? This is how you're doing that? But whatever. And LA Knight is his tag team partner at Fastlane, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. Honestly,
you're gonna get to hear LA Knight.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for it. So it'll be all good. Ben, what was your overall for SmackDown?
I gave mine right. Yeah, I gave it a C.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
I would give it a C+.
All right. Now we are going into the A show for this week. I'm going to go ahead and start it off. I'm going to pick Raw for this week to be the A show. Elio, what's your pick?
I've got Raw as well.
All right. What do you think, Ben?
Raw.
All right, clean sweep, and Monday Night Raw gets the win for this week. If everybody didn't know, we tally up what is the best show for this week, and we pick it. And yeah, I think it was pretty self-explanatory right there.
So, and I have the totals.
Okay, what's the totals?
Raw's got 12.
Okay.
NXT's got 2. SmackDown's got 10. Dynamite and Collision have 0.
Well, that explains a lot right there. So there we go.
Maybe do better.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do a quick review over NXT No Mercy this week. Also, WrestleDream. We'll just go through the cards real quick, pick whoever we think's going to win, and go from there. So, Elio, do you have the cards?
I have WrestleDream up first.
Okay, let's do it.
So, bottom to top, we have new match added to the main show. Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. I'm going with Ricky Starks.
I'm right there with you. I'm going to go Ricky Starks.
Especially after that Texas Death Match. Yeah, Ricky Starks.
Okay.
All right. Up next, 4-way tag team match for future AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks versus the Guns versus the Lucha Brothers versus Orange Cassidy and Hook.
God, please don't let that tag team win. I swear on everything good and holy.
Yeah, this is on you, Clay.
But I can't get my mouth to say Orange Cassidy and Hook to win this match. So please, God, I'm sure I'll go with the Guns to win it. I hope. Anybody but them, please.
Ben.
Lucha Brothers.
Okay.
All right. What about you?
You know what? I'm going with the Lucha Brothers. I was gonna say Young Bucks, but thinking about it later in the week, I'm going with Lucha Brothers.
All right.
All right, for the AEW TBS Championship, Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart. Ben.
Chris Statlander.
We got Chris Statlander as well. Clay.
Clean sweep, Chris Statlander.
Next, we have title for title match: Eddie Kingston versus Katsuyori Shibata. Now, why Eddie Kingston would put his titles up after recently winning it from Jon Moxley? Why are you going right into another one? I've got Eddie Kingston.
I'm right there with you. I'm going Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston. It almost does a disservice to his challenger. And I would say that about anybody in this situation.
Right.
Okay, then we have the TNT Championship: Christian Cage versus Darby Allin. Who's on?
I think it's me.
All right,
but here's my thing. It's in Seattle. Darby Allin's from Seattle. You know how AEW loves to do that. But I honestly would want to see Christian Cage win this just because he just won the TNT title. He's doing a decent heel right now. So I'm going to say Christian Cage.
Ben?
Christian Cage, because otherwise, why the fuck did we get what we got on Dynamite?
Right.
Yes, sir.
I got Christian Cage as well.
All right.
All right, next we have Chris Jericho and the Golden Elite versus the Don Callis family. I've got Jericho and Golden Elite.
I hope and pray to God it's Jericho and Golden Elite. Honestly.
Clean sweep again.
Okay.
Next up, a 2-on-1. Well, yeah, I guess now it is, right? 2-on-1 handicap match because they're not going to have a tag team partner. All right, so it's MJF versus the Righteous for the ROH World Tag Team Championship.
I'm going MJF.
Yeah,
honestly.
I'm gonna go MJF as well.
Yeah, there's going to be some shenanigans. You just know it. You know, Dynamite, Diamond Ring bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Next up, for the World Tag Team Championship, AEW Tag Team Championship, FTR versus Aussie Open. Ben?
FTR.
I'm going to go FTR as well. But
I think FTR is going to retain. I'm actually looking forward to this match. So that's another one. Yeah.
Then we have Hangman Adam Page versus Swerve Strickland. Clay.
I'm going to go Swerve Strickland. I feel like he needs this win.
You know what? I was going to go Page. I'm going to have to go with Swerve.
All right.
I'm gonna go with Swerve.
Okay.
And the match that I'm looking forward to on this show, Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr.
I'm going to go Bryan Danielson.
I've got Bryan Danielson as well.
Bryan Danielson. I mean, especially because they just mentioned the retirement tour and his daughter. You know, it's very, very, when you mention kids, it's very, very hard to then have that person lose.
Absolutely. Yep. And is that all for Wrestle Dream?
That's all we have for Wrestle Dream. Now we're going to move on to NXT No Mercy.
All right.
And, oh wow, yay, we have one match on a kickoff show.
Really?
Joy.
Which no one, does anyone watch a kickoff show? I don't.
Nobody cares.
Right? But anyways, Blair Davenport versus Kalani Jordan. We know Blair Davenport's going to win. So there.
Blair. Yeah. Obviously. Yep.
All right. First match, we have the British Rounds Rules match for the NXT Heritage Cup.
Oh my God. Not this again.
Noam Dar versus Butch.
Butch.
Please, Butch.
I will,
Please.
You know what? I've got Butch on this one. I'm tired of Noam Dar.
Anything to avoid the return of Tiny Tim.
Wait. Let me say it the right way. Noam Dar. There.
That's perfect. There you go.
Okay, then for the NXT Championship, Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov.
I'm going to go with Ilya Dragunov. I want him to be NXT champion. I do. I love me some Carmelo Hayes, but I'm ready for Ilya to take this.
Initially, I said Carmelo Hayes, but I've seen that contract signing. I'm going to have to go with Ilya Dragunov.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Ben?
Ben?
I am definitely going Ilya Dragunov.
All right. There we go.
Next, we have a match that no one really cares about. From Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin.
Oh, Christ. Braun Breaker. Sure.
Yeah, I got Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker.
All right.
Then we have an Extreme Rules match for the NXT Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton. I've got Becky Lynch.
I'm going big time Becky Lynch.
I'm going Becky Lynch, although that almost pains me because I hate this main roster bullshit on NXT.
But it gives us fresh matches.
That's true.
Elio, that might be true, but it's nonsensical. Why are you having NXT talent not hold your NXT titles? Doesn't that... I understand what you're doing to get ratings because your ratings were in the toilet based on what you were doing before. I get it. Trust me. But it's just the nature of not having your NXT superstars hold the NXT titles is asinine to me because what that says is that you are not good enough to hold the titles that were designed for you.
True. Yeah. All right.
Next up, oh boy. Dominic Mysterio versus Trick Williams for the North American Championship. It has to be Dominic Mysterio.
It has to be, because if you're going to win against Dragon Lee and retain your title and you lose to Trick, I'm losing a lot of respect for you. So Dom Mysterio, please retain.
Yes.
I beg of thee. I just Dom, you gotta. I know you're supposed to be an asshole, but I'm begging you. I'm begging you. If I have to hear Trick in the ring celebrating a title win, I'm gonna off myself.
What?
Wait till Tony sees it. Tony would love that.
Well, me offing myself would be more entertaining than this shit. Good God.
And the last match on here, the family, Tony D'Angelo and Stax versus OTM versus the Creed Brothers versus Los Lotharios for a fatal four-way for the NXT Tag Team Championships. I've got Tony D'Angelo and Stax.
I can see where they would win, but my personal wrestling fandom here, I'm cheering for Los Lotharios. I really am.
Okay.
I am.
Los Lotharios.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I thought I was going to be the only one. Cool.
That's NXT No Mercy.
All right. So we got those two pay-per-views this weekend. Like Elio and Ben said, they will be reviewing it on Tuesday, guys? Did you say?
Yeah.
Tuesday night.
Well, yeah, we're going to review this one. Then we're going to preview Fastlane.
There you go. I will try to be on. I'm not guaranteeing anything. We will just see how life rolls. So go into that into that podcast and give them a follow. So, and now we'll just jump into the book because we have no 5-second shuffle game. Basically, what we do is put the most ridiculous things that happen in the week of wrestling, and we just do it for a good laugh. So, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right. No Trick Willie shot.
Stays.
AEW time management.
Stays.
AEW's absurd commentary.
Stays.
Tony Schiavone. Stays. Porn stash McMahon.
Absolutely stays.
He looks terrible. Tony Sting and Sue. Stays. Dawn's Harry Potter scar.
Oh my God. Stays.
Yeah. That thing's getting worse. Roddy's Fatal Attraction. Stays.
Adam!
I can't see you.
Even
We
though
might
my
mention
eyes are open.
We might mention Nerd's glasses.
I know, right? God. Roderick's Strong's pencil neck geek brace.
Stays.
And last, but certainly not least, what's wrong with Tony Khan's eyes?
Hey.
I think that's a lifer, folks.
Hey, that will be. But you know what? It's going to be in the book as well because I like saying it. That's how it rolls. That is the book, and that is the end of the show for this week. Tune in next week for another great episode of WPOV, and Tony will be back for the most part, and we'll be all ready for Fastlane, which I will be there, and I'll probably say it again next week. But I'm super excited. Yes. All right, and that's all that we have. I am your host, the $50 man, Clay Cummings, along with the gentleman and the original
7 Tears.
All right, guys. Love, peace, and wrestling. We'll see you all next week. Peace out.